Hi guys, lovely to see you all again. Today we're going to be looking at an awesome solo called Overthrown off the most recent Sylosis album. Let's take a look. Alright guys, let's take a look at the first section. I want to start on 5 of the 3rd string. Then I'm going to slide into 9 of the 2nd. So we go. And I work into this phrase. I'm pretty sure that's whammied. You might be able to vibrato it without it, but I think it will sound more sexual and delightful with whammy. So what I've got here is a couple of 2-string chords. I'm going to play 10 of the 2nd string and 11 of the 3rd together, minor 3rd, and I've got this kind of gross, sussy 2nd thing going on by playing 9 of the 2nd and 11 of the 3rd. Here's kind of a dominant 7th vibe now. I'm playing 9 of the 2nd and 8 of the 1st. At the end of that, I'm jumping back to 10 of the 2nd string, but I'm just playing that by itself. But you're still going to have the ringing notes from the chord. And that's the whole vibe there. Then we're going to work into this phrase. Let's slow that down. I'm going to do a hammer on from 6 to 7 on the 4th. And I'm going to pull off back to that 6. After that, I'm going to slide from 7 to 11. And then play 7-6 after that. So all together a back group. One more time. At the end of that, I've got 2 hammer-ons from 4 to 6. And then after that, I'm going to hit the 6th fret again, but give that a bend. Play a regular 6, and then go to 4. So let's go from those double hammer-ons. So all together that last chunk. Hopefully that's all making sense. Let's try the whole section again relatively slowly and then do it again with some tabs. One more time with some tabs. Alright guys, let's have a look at the second section. It is very attractive, I'm warning you in advance. So I'm going to start off with a little bit of palm muting and then I'm going to break out into some more aggressive pull-offs. So be very wary of the dynamics on this section. So I want to start off by playing 6-7-6 on the 4th string. Nice and muted, and then I'm going to open up a little bit on that when I do the pull-off from 8 to 6 on the 3rd. I'm going to jump back up to 7 of the 4th string, and that's going to be my first little chunk. So we'll kind of be working in groups of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. The second group's going to be similar. I'm going to start by playing 6-7-6 again on the 4th. Then I've got to pull off from 9 to 7 on the 2nd. Then I jump to 6 of the 3rd. So back to back. Then I'm going to borrow the first chunk again. So all together. Hopefully that's making sense. And then I work into this phrase. This is pretty cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to play 6-7 on the 4th string. Then I work into this phrase. So what I've got here is I'm going 4-5-4 on the 2nd. hammer on into a pull off, jumping to 6 of the 3rd. Then I go back down to 4 of the 2nd string, I'm going to do a semitone bend. So it's pretty slow up and back, and then I want to play, what's that, at 6 of the 3rd, and this is really strange. Jumping from that 6 of the 3rd to 2 of the 6th to a low F sharp. It's pretty weird, but completely awesome. Let's have a look at what we've got thus far. Okay, then we're working to the next phrase, which is quite interesting. I'll play it for you. So to start with that, it sounds really fast and it's really, really fun to play if you look at my right hand. Now this is what's really strange, there's no alternate picking in this, so I'm doing it all as down picks. If I take out the left hand, you'll notice I'm doing just down picks. Now, not everyone will probably approach it this way, but I think it makes the most sense, because if I was to alternate pick it, every second note would be back picked, and because I'm removing that with the legato, I've just found that it's easy to do all down picks. So just keep that in mind when you're doing it. All down pick seems to work for me. Hopefully it works for you. Now the entry of this is a bit strange. It's going to come in on the 3rd beat of the bar. So we're going to go 1, 2. So I've got 4 in a row of that group of 6. So what I'm doing here is I'm doing a pull off from 13 to 9. And then I'm going to do a hammer on from 10 to 13. And then pull off 10, 9. So I'll go 1, 2. I'm going to do that group of 6 notes 4 times. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 6 notes 4 times. I'm going to do a very similar pattern and emphasis, but this time I'm going to jump to 7 of the 2nd string. I'm going to pull off 7 to 4, hammer 5 to 7, then pull off 5, 4. I'm going to do that idea twice. After that, I'm going to do a sort of a bit of a diagonal jump. I'm going to do the same shape, but on the 3rd string, I'm going to pull off 8 to 5, hammer 6 to 8, and then 6 to 5 is the final pull off. And once again, this whole section thus far has all been down picked. So we go 1, 2. There's one more little chunk. So what I'm doing here, very similar ideas. This one, I think there's a bit more legato here. So I'm doing a pull off from 7 to 4. And then after that, I'm going to hammer 6, 7, 6, 4. So I'm going to go 7 to 4, 6, 7, 6, 4. At the end of that, kind of resolving that to 6, you can add a cheeky squeal if you want. At the end of that, there's 2 leading hammer notes that will get us ready for section 3. It's pretty strange, but that's how it will work. So, let's take it from the start of the section at a gentleman's pace, and then we'll do it again even slow with some taps. 1, 2. One more time, some taps. Alright guys, let's have a look at the 3rd section. It's pretty short, but it is sexy and melodic. So I'm going to slide from 14 to 16 on the 2nd string. I'm going to add that cheeky half bend there. I work into this phrase. So what I've got there is a hammer on from 14 to 16 again on the 2nd string. Then I'm going to play 14, 16, 12 on the 1st, but you'll notice that I'm using my pointing finger the whole time, just because it gives it a slight emphasis. As opposed to kind of a robotic staccato sound. So let's have a look at what we've got thus far. At the end of that, I've got a semitone bend from 11 of the 1st string, going up and back, and then just holding it on the 11 with some light vibrato. At the end of that, I've got 20 of this first string. I'm just playing straight 16ths. I've got 2 full bars of 16ths. If you want to think of it as 4 8s, that kind of makes a bit more sense to me. So I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 4 groups of 8, and I'm just bending that up slowly. It's going to take up those 2 bars until we work into the last section. And that will eventually lead to a full tone bend if you take it very, very slowly. So what I want to do is I want to put the whole section together relatively slowly, and then we'll do it again with some tabs. One more time with some tabs. Okay, this final section is comprised of some pretty adventurous shreds, so be nice and patient with it. I want to start initially off with a pull-off from 17 to 14 on the first string and then jump to 17 to the second. Then a similar idea, I'm going to pull 16 to 14 on the first string and jump to 16 to the second. So back to back. Okay, and then it works into this phrase. So as soon as I hit that 16, I'm going to go 16, 17, 16 to 14, all in one pick. I'm going to add another cheeky hammer-on pull-off back to 16 and 14. So it's going to go... So we're going to go... At the end of that. So what I'm doing here is I'm playing 17 of the third string, jumping to 14 of the second. And then I'm going to pull off 17 to 14 on the third string and then slide that back to 13. So nice and slow. Nice and good times. The next chunk that I do, emphasis-wise, is going to be very, very similar. So let's slow it down. I want to do a pull-off from 14 to 11 on the first string and jump to 14 of the second. And then I'm going to pull off 12, 11 on the first and jump to 13 of the second. So to go. Okay, now similar idea that we had before. I'm going to play 13, 14, 13, 10 all in one pick. And add another cheeky hammer pull off going 10, 13 back to the 10. So all together this chunk. At the end of that, I'm going to play 13 of the third and jump to 10 of the second. Then I'm pulling off 13, 11 and sliding to 9. Let's have a look at this chunk nice and slow. Let's try both ideas back to back and then we'll have a look at the next section. Chunk rather. Okay, the next bit's a little bit adventurous. Let's take our time with it. I want to do a pull off from 19 to 16 and then 17 to 16 on the first string. And then I'm going to play 19 of the second and back down to 16 of the first. So all together. Then it goes. Let's slow that down. I'm going to do 2 pull offs, all in one pick, might I add, going 19 to 17 twice. And then I want to play 16, 17, 16 hammer-on pull-off. At the end of that, I'm going to play 18 of the third string, 16 of the second, and 18 of the third string, and that'll be that bar done. So go. Let's slow that down. Okay, there's one more little chunk to that big run and then it gets pretty simple with the last trim pick. Alright, so what I'm doing here is I'm going 17, 18, 17, 14 on the third string. So what I'm doing here, 17, 18, 17, 14 all in one pick. Then I jump to 18 of the fourth and then back down to 14 of the third. And what I do here, this is a bit strange. I'm doing 2 pull-offs from 18 to 14 on the 4th. Then I slide back from 14 to 13. And from that slide, I'm doing a hammer-on into a pull-off. After that, I jump to 16 of the 5th string. So I go, and that's going to resolve to 13 of the 4th string. So let's take this slowly. Pretty epic, I know. So let's go from that pull off at the start of that. Okay, at the end of that, I'll work into this phrase. So what I'm doing here, I'm going to play 11, 13, and then another 13 for a bend. I bring it back down, and then I'm going to play 11 of the 4th and jump to 12 of the 5th. Hopefully that's making sense. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 3 groups of 4 on 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I slide into 21. So if you can add in these little slides, it'll make it more exciting. I'm going to do 3 groups of 4 on the 21 as well. And then I'm just ending on a bend on that 21 of the 1st string. Let's have a look at the whole section relatively slowly, and then we'll do it again with some tabs. I'm aware it's epic. You may need to watch this more than once, unless you're a baby genius. All right, here we go. One more time, some tabs. And that was the solo from Overthrown by Sylosis. Hope you guys have enjoyed that. Please like and subscribe, and I'll catch you all very soon.